Alright, so this is another fun fanfiction idea, and this is one I've kind of wanted to do for a while, mostly because, like, it's a story that really does feel like it should have happened, right? Maybe in some context, and to be fair, I'm not capable of reading every single comic out there, but it really does feel like this should have happened more often, right? Like, these two characters should have at least encountered one another, in some grand capacity, right? Like, that should have happened. So here we are with what I call Daredevil, Nightcrawler, Daredevil, Holy War. So this story basically brings together two of the most religious characters in Marvel Comics and have them on a team up. Again, maybe I know Daredevil has met the X-Men and has encountered Nightcrawler, but to my knowledge, there's never been a story where, like, Nightcrawler and Matt and Kurt go on, like, a solo adventure together. But anyway, so let's talk about this story. So the story begins with Matt just on a night of patrolling when he hears like cries for help, and he heads out. He goes and he basically discovers he's too late. Like, he got there just a minute too late, and he basically has to he's like looking over, it's a dead child. And it's not just any child, it's a mutant child. And he basically has this musing of, this child, like, there's not a lot of mutants in Hell's Kitchen. Like, as long as I've been in Hell's Kitchen, there hasn't been a lot of reports of mutants born in the area. Now, not to say, like, there aren't mutants born in New York, it's just in Hell's Kitchen, it's been a much different story. It's been basically, like, very rarely does a mutant boy get born in Hell's Kitchen, and God help them if they are. But now he's focused on the next thing, which is find the fucker who did this. And he basically follows using his senses, he follows the path and chases after the person who has done this. Unfortunately for him, that person who did this is kind of cybernetically enhanced because it's fucking Bushwhacker. So Bushwhacker attacks Matt, the two do battle, and what happens is that Bushwhacker him and Matt have fought before, even though he's more of a Punisher villain. Although Bushwhacker started as a Daredevil villain, then he got transitioned to a Punisher villain. So Matt is aware of Bushwhacker. He just hasn't fought him in a while, and it does look like he got some new enhancements with his gun arm. And he's like, well, that's weird. He's got some upgrades, but that's fine. I can fight him. And then he hears, "Mein friend, please duck." And that's when Matt, he hears that voice and ducks, and that's when Kurt comes teleporting in, flying air kick to the face to Bushwhacker, and he's like, "Bushwhacker, I've been hunting you for 3 nights, yeah?" And Nightcrawler's like, "Daredevil, if you would Daredevil will talk later. Right now, we have to capture him." So Nightcrawler and Daredevil are fighting together. They're teaming up, and Bushwhacker's like, "Well, I'm getting out of here." So he manages to get away after shooting his gun into a crowd. So Matt and Kurt have to basically stop what they're doing and assist in saving lives. And Matt's just like, "Okay, we'll save the citizens, but when this is over, you and I gotta talk." So after saving the people in the building that Bushwhacker had shot at, Daredevil, and it's also kind of like there would be there's a moment where Kurt's trying to help, but as he's trying to go through the fire and reach out to help this kid, this kid just starts breaking down in tears. Even though he manages to save it, the mother, who's already down there thanks to Matt saving her, is like, get that demon away from my baby, it's a monster. And Daredevil's just like, oh, man, that sucks. But Daredevil does step in and go hey, he helped save your lives, he helped save your baby, cut him some fucking slack. So Matt and Kurt, they step away from the scene and talk, and Daredevil's like, "Hey, listen, Nightcrawler, why are you in Hell's Kitchen?" And he's like, "I didn't mean to step on any toes, but I've been hunting Bushwhacker for several days now. he's basically gone on a tear of killing mutant children, and we don't know why. So I've been hunting him for 3 days, and he's like, well, why you specifically? I thought they would send Logan. And he's like, well, Logan's wrapped up with something else, and this is kind of personal to me, because the first set of murders that had happened were at a church that I lived in for a bit. It was like Bushwhacker's been specifically targeting children, and I want to know why. Daredevil's like, all right, that's, killing children in a church. You have awoken my inner angry Catholic Old Testament God self. We'll figure this out. But also, Matt's like, I don't get it. Bushwhacker's a Hyde mercenary, I get it. But, murdering mutant children specifically, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That has to be more to it. And he's like, the only way we're going to find out is if we find him. So, Nightcrawler, so Kurt and Matt team up. And they actually, go... Because Kurt believes, if he's going to attack, he's probably going to hit another church. And it does discover that the mutant boy that died did attend a church in Hell's Kitchen. In fact, it was one that Matt attended when he was a boy. But the problem is that when Daredevil goes to the crime scene, the cops are like, it's just one less mutie, right? And Daredevil just grabs the cop and goes, it's one less life, you fucking asshole. It's a child just died, and you're just happy that you don't care because he's a mutant. And he's like, let me ask you something, officer. And the cop's black, and he basically goes, let me ask you something, officer. If it was if the kid was if he was just a black kid, would you care? And he's like, hang on now, you can't pull the race card on me, white boy. And Daredevil goes, it's not just that. I'm so it is so. It's straight up ghoulish that people don't care about these people when not too long ago people didn't care about you. I find it kind of disgusting that the human race on a whole tends to just want to hate something they don't understand. They didn't understand you. They didn't understand Jewish people. They didn't understand my people, the Catholics, for a while too. We just find something to hate. We just find someone else to hate because we don't want to deal with our own problems. That boy, that some family out there has just lost their child, and you could show it could stand a little more respect. I think you would want the same for someone in your family if they were killed. So Daredevil just kind of reads the riot act because he's just like, would he gives them the riot act, and the cop's just like, well, I'm a dick. We'll notify the parents, sir. And so Daredevil and Nightcrawler, after looking over the body, they go to the church, and essentially what it is that they're at the church, and Nightcrawler has this moment of, it's been a while since I've been in an actual church. The one on Krakoa is nice, but sometimes I appreciate the old architecture. And he's like, you're Catholic? He's like, "Nein, Christian." And he's like, oh, shame. He's like, that was a bad joke. I know, very bad joke. But Matt and Kurt kind of talk about their their religious upbringings, and kind of talk about and even Nightcrawler, Kurt makes this note of, do you find it funny? And he goes, what? We both give our lives to God, but we look like this, although some of us were born like this, and some of us just dress like the devil. And he goes, you should I'm not hearing any complaints from of what I look like from the people I protect. And he goes, but I do. But the two kind of talk about what they were like and their upbringings as and finding solace in God, and solace in religion in some capacity. And Matt and Kurt both have this thing of we both kind of lost our religion along the way, because they both have done a lot of horrible things that God wouldn't appreciate. But as they're talking, they encounter a priest there, and the priest talks about the boy who was murdered. He tells them look, I was giving shelter to mutant children that were in Hell's Kitchen, and I wanted to, make a safe haven for them if they couldn't reach like Krakoa or, somewhere where that was mutant friendly. And then that that guy with the gun arm came in and attacked him and chased the boy out there. And he's like, okay. He's like, so now we know why Bushwhacker is attacking kids in religious groups, but we have to know why. So they keep investigating, and sure enough, they encounter Bushwhacker again, and this time he's attacking another mutant child who was connected to the church. They fight him, and this time around they discover that Bushwhacker isn't in control of his own actions. He's actually under the control of the Purifiers. He's basically been mind controlled by the Purifiers to be their assassin. After the Purifiers basically heard that there's a priest out there giving, a human priest giving safe haven to the Satan's children, and wanted to use Bushwhacker to kill them all, discreetly and not get the X-Men's attention. But Kurt caught on, and and Daredevil, of course, got in the way too. So the two do battle. They actually break the mind control, the programming that Bushwhacker had in his brain, and they still arrest him because he's still wanted for murder. He still killed those kids, and anyway. But the Purifiers are like, oh shit, we should go. So they escape, but not before Nightcrawler basically alerts X-Force about the Purifiers, and it's not too long before X-Force catches up to them, and yeah, they get purified. So by the end of it, Daredevil and Kurt are just kind of having a talking and just kind of reminiscing about the whole thing, and they are basically like, you want to stop by for mass? And he's like, yeah, that'd be cool. So that's how the story ends, with both of them going to mass in a long time. I'm not a religious person, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to have this kind of team up and have this kind of ending. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this story? Like it, hate it, comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.